Hey everybody, it's Tracy Monty Smith with SE Coaching. So glad to be joining everybody again here on this video. And I wanted to take some time this week to talk around the fact of what I call the symptoms of divorce. So we're going to talk a lot specifically today around divorce and those feelings and emotions that come up around that. So, you know, in all of my questioning and my surveying of people, I found out that they really fall under three main categories. But after you've listened to this, if you have anything that you would like to add, please, please, please put it in the comment section or shoot me an email at Tracy, T-R-A-C-Y, at secoaching.net, because I always like to add to my data. I love to hear things about what you're dealing with on a daily basis, because that really helps me to be able to, first of all, know that I'm not alone in all of this that I'm dealing with around my post-divorce stuff that happened 9 years ago. But second of all, to make sure that I am really speaking to the issues that you are concerned about or that you have some awareness around. So please take the time, if anything comes up for you during any of these recordings, to either shoot me a quick comment or an email, because I'd love to hear from you and hear your opinions on it. So the symptoms of divorce, I mentioned that they really are three main categories. And the first one is around the feelings of feeling lost and the things that you feel like you've lost in your divorce. And a lot of the things that come up around that feeling of being lost is that you've lost your voice. You feel like nobody's hearing you or really taking the time to listen to you and all of the things that are going on in your life. So you feel like you don't have that sounding board anymore, or you don't have that support system anymore. A lot of times we feel a loss of control. And that is a very, very common symptom around divorce, is feeling that fear of loss of control, because all of a sudden it feels like we don't have a say in how things are stacking up in our daily life, whether it's, you know, when we pick up the children, or how much time we get to have with the children, or, you know, the division of property, the division of assets. You feel like you've really lost control over that part of your life. Another thing that we feel lost about is just our place in the world and who we are, our sense of identity. And we're really going to get more into identity and sense of identity in next week's topic. So if that's something that is very real for you, stay tuned and definitely tune into next week's video and next week's blog post, because we're going to talk a lot about self-identity and how that all happens for us. So the first one is loss. Our second major category around our symptoms of divorce is loneliness, because we feel, even when we're surrounded by a lot of people, we can still feel really lonely. And a lot of times the well-meaning people in our lives are telling us to, hey, it's time to just get over it. It's time to get back out there, start dating again, move on. It's all in the past. And you know what? That doesn't help. It doesn't help for someone to tell us that. So if you are a support person for someone around divorce, please, please, please don't tell us that we just need to move on and that we just need to get over it. Because trust me, we've already been telling ourselves that, and that is just not is how it works. It just isn't how it works. So that's a symptom of divorce, is dealing with the loneliness. Probably the biggest one is anger. There's a lot of anger issues that come up around our divorce. And it can be anger at our ex, obviously, right? Sometimes it manifests as anger at our children, which isn't, you know, really where we want to go. But there's also a lot of anger at ourselves. And there's a lot of fear based around that anger of, why am I angry at myself? And why am I so angry at myself? Well, we probably know why we're angry at ourselves. But so those are the three main ones. Is oh, you know what? There's even another one. There's a fourth one that's probably even bigger. And I just briefly talked about that, and that is fear and anxiety. And all of this stuff can fit under there. You've got financial fears. You've got where are you going to live fears. You've got how am I going to provide their children fears. There's so much fear and anxiety around the divorce. So really, I guess there's four main things in my symptoms of divorce. However, today what I want to talk about is a way to start to alleviate some of the pain around these symptoms of divorce, and what is something that you can do. And what if I told you you could start this in just 5 minutes a day, right? Sign me up. Sign me up. If it's only going to take 5 minutes out of my day to start to alleviate some of these anxieties and these fears and the loneliness and the anger, you know what? I am going to be the first one to say, how can you help me? How can I do that? And so I'm going to tell you the secret. And the secret to that today is around gratitude. Now, we've all been told that we need to be grateful for all the things we have, that there's always somebody out there that has it worse than we do. As a small child, I was definitely told be grateful for the food on the table because there's starving children in Africa that don't have that. And you know what? All of that is true. There is always going to be someone else that is worse off than we are in the world. But that does not change the fact that we're having a bad day. That does not change the fact that we are feeling the emotions that we feel around this divorce, whether it's loneliness or anger or fear or feeling lost. All of those are legitimate feelings and emotions, and they have a rightful place in our lives. So telling someone just to get over it, be grateful, move on, isn't going to do it for you. However, the practice of gratitude on a daily basis in our lives, by choosing to practice gratitude and be grateful, we are taking the first step into repairing the damage and to acknowledge the emotions that come along with the divorce and the symptoms of our divorce. So I've written down a few benefits of gratitude and expressing gratitude, and I'm going to go over just a couple of them in today's video. There will be more of them in the blog post that will go up tomorrow. So if you're watching the video the day that it's posted, the blog post will go up tomorrow. The blog post you can find at the website at secoaching.net. You can also find it posted on my Facebook business page, SE Coaching. So if you're more interested in finding out some more of the benefits of gratitude that we're not going to talk about today, that's the place to go. The main one that I want to talk about is that overall gratitude makes us happier. And because when we are spending time focusing on the things that we are grateful for, we don't have the time to focus on the things that are going wrong in our lives. By taking the time to acknowledge the goodness in our lives, it takes away the time that we have to focus or obsess or worry about the things that are going on in our lives that, quite frankly, most of it we don't have any control over, right? So by focusing on the things that we can be grateful for and the gratitude that we can have around those things, it will make us happier. Gratitude strengthens our relationships, and it doesn't matter if the relationship is with your parents or your children or your friends or even your ex. Being grateful for the things that they have done, the things that they provide, the things that they have said or are saying is really going to strengthen that relationship. And especially around a divorce where there's children involved, if you can really dig deep and be grateful for the things that your ex has provided for your family and the fact that they gave you your children at all, and be grateful for that, is really going to show up then in your relationship, not just with your ex, but in your relationship with your children, because they really are, bottom line, the most important things around this whole relationship breaking up, whether it's current, recent, or like mine, 9 years later. I still have to really step back and take that breath and realize that my children are the most important focus for me around my divorce. Gratitude improves our health. No joke, not kidding. It actually improves our physical health. And I'm not going to go into all of the science around this because you can use Google and you can find that and look that up all on your own. You can experiment on yourself and you're going to see the difference in the changes. And gratitude decreases our stress. By taking the moment to sit down, take that breath, recognize the things that you have to be grateful for in your life, it does actually calm those stress receptors, and it enables us to reduce that overall feeling of stress in our day. But the number one most important thing that that gratitude is going to provide is a sense of your own self-compassion and your self-awareness, because you're going to find out that so much about yourself, about what's important to you, about what's important to you now, about what was important to you, and how that all carries forward and making you and shaping you into the person that you are. So again, taking that time to check in with yourself, to check in with the world around you, and what do I have to be grateful for, is going to help that self-compassion and really strengthen your self-confidence. So what are some ways that we can practice gratitude? And, you know, I'm going to give you a few quick tips. There's going to be more on the blog. One way that we can start to express gratitude is just to become aware of viewing our day-to-day existence from a viewpoint of gratitude, and asking yourself, what are the things that I am taking for granted that I have to be grateful for? For me this morning, we've had a huge weather shift here in Colorado in the last 10 days. 10 days ago, it was 90 plus degrees out, wearing shorts, sweating. And today it's below freezing. It was below freezing when I woke up. It's above freezing now, but we've broke out the hoodies, and the furnace kicked on. And you know what? Taking for granted a furnace and heat in your home, when that is something that we should be so grateful for, it was just eye-opening for me. And I have been doing this, practicing this gratitude myself. And so when I became aware, when I woke up, that my house was not freezing, but it was cold outside, I took that moment to be grateful for that. Something that I had taken for granted every single day all winter long is waking up to a warm home. So just approach that day-to-day step from a sense of gratitude and see what comes up for you. See kind of what comes up that you have been taking for granted, that you might want to express some gratitude for. This is a good one that I have try to be really aware of. I am so not perfect at any of these things. Let me just preface this. But it is something that I've become more aware of. And that is to give one compliment to someone every single day. Now, the really cool thing is that that one person can be you. You can look in the mirror and give yourself a compliment. You know what? Maybe you're having a really great hair day. Not so much me today. Came from the barn. It is what it is. Or, you know, give yourself a compliment that, hey, oh, this is a big one. Maybe you got out of bed without hitting the snooze button. That deserves a big hurrah. That deserves a compliment. But sharing those compliments with other people in your life, especially those that you are close to, again, strengthens that relationship that we talked about, one of the benefits of gratitude. But also giving a compliment to a complete stranger. I mean, talk about boosting who you are and your self-confidence, and that you made someone else's day because you gave them a compliment, unsolicited compliment. That is going to stick with them so far throughout their whole day. And it's huge, huge part of being grateful for who we are, why we're here, and the choices that we have every single day of our lives. So those are some really quick things to start to practice gratitude. But the best one, my number one tip, and again, it's something that I am trying so hard to put into my life also, so we can experiment on all this stuff together, is to do a gratitude journal. And you know what? That sounds really easy. Take 5 minutes, sit down, and write down what you have to be grateful for. And I'm going to tell you that the same thing that I tell my writing students is that if I give you an exercise to do on the horse that sounds really, really easy, that should be your first clue that it probably isn't really, really easy. And so they're on to me now. So I'm giving you the heads up that if it sounds easy, there's probably a reason that it's not going to be. So taking the 5 minutes, and it's not just writing down I am grateful for, though that is a part of it. But if you use the gratitude journal page that I use, and I have been doing this consistently for the last about 45 days, every single day. So still really new at doing it every single day myself. But if you use that same page that I'm using, it's going to also start to make you aware of yourself and what's going on with yourself. So some of the other things that we do besides just acknowledging what we're grateful for is we set the stage. I'm going to ask you things like, what's going on outside your window? What's the weather like? Okay, we had a big weather change. So, that's something that I would write about. We do write down something that we're grateful for, and then there's an exercise to help set that for you, where you verbally read out loud what you are grateful for, and you put a different emphasis on a different word in the sentence each time you say it. And that just, again, it just really helps to acknowledge that. So we've recognized it, and now we're going to really acknowledge it. And then after we're done with that, then we're able to celebrate it, because it is something now that has become ingrained for us, in acknowledging that. What's really, really important is to do this exercise and to actually write things down. The easy part is to say, I am grateful for. That is the easy part. The hard part is writing it down and really beginning to live it, to recognize it, to acknowledge it, to celebrate it, and to take that time goes beyond just having that one sentence of I am grateful for. So the page that I use, actually I'm going to offer that to you. I'm going to put the link to it in the comments below this video. So you can go ahead and click that link. It's going to take you to download the pages, print them out, so that you can go back and you can look at them every day and put them somewhere really prevalent so that you remember to do this every single day. So I'm really going to challenge you to do this every single day. And I'm going to ask you every once in a while to check in. Give me some things that you're grateful for. This is the time of year coming up on the holidays where we're more aware of it. But try to continue this practice even when we're not coming up on Thanksgiving, when we're not coming up around Christmas in a few months. So every day, 5 minutes, what are you grateful for? What are the things in your life that are amazing? What are the things in your life that are going so well that you want to acknowledge it, not just to yourself, but acknowledge it to the world? And I guarantee that by using this practice, you're going to start to step into that place of self-compassion, that place of self-awareness of all the things that are going on in your life and all the amazingness that's going on in your life. Because you know what? Your divorce happened and it sucks. Divorce is not fun. It is not easy. It is not something that we want to go through, but we did. And it is part of who we are, but it does not define who we are going to be. So we get to choose who we are going to be after our divorce. And I choose gratitude and I choose grace. And those are the things that help me deal with the symptoms of my divorce every single day. So check it out in the comments, the link to the gratitude journal. Start writing it down. If you have questions about the practice, again, comments, or shoot me an email at Tracy, Tracy, at secoaching.net. I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Everybody have a wonderful day. Check out the blog with all the additional tips and tricks around gratitude and the benefits around gratitude. And we will see you back here again next week. Have a great one. Goodbye.